Tokyo. Modern, electric, and fast-paced. A sprawling metropolis known for skyscrapers, bullet trains, and the constant hum of city life. But behind the neon and glass lies a different Tokyo. One of forgotten woods, ancient hills, and dark stories whispered under the breath of wind. If you venture far enough west from the city center, past the trendy shops of Shibuya and the office towers of Shinjuku, you'll reach a quieter part of Tokyo, Hachioji. Once a post town during the Edo period, and now a suburban city framed by forested mountains and hiking trails. It's a popular escape for Tokyoites looking to reconnect with nature. But for some, nature hides something far more unsettling. High in the wooded hills on Mount Kompira, among the mossy stones and collapsed foundations lie the Doryodo Ruins, remnants of a temple long abandoned. But the temple didn't simply fall to time. It fell to tragedy, and it's said to be one of Tokyo's most haunted places. I'm Kevin O'Shea, and this is Supernatural Japan. The ruins are tucked away in a dense part of the Takao region of Hachioji. This area is best known for its hiking trails, including the famous Mount Takao, a spiritual site with ancient roots. But the mountain that hides Doryodo, Mount Kompira, is much quieter, and in recent decades, far more feared. The Doryodo Temple was originally built in the Edo period, back in the 1600s. It served as a small Buddhist temple, peaceful and isolated, an ideal retreat for spiritual reflection. For centuries, monks and pilgrims passed through its gates. But by the 20th century, the temple had fallen into disuse, its roof sagged, its hall stood empty. And then, something terrible happened. In early 1963, an elderly woman who worked as a caretaker at the Doryodo Temple was murdered in an apparent robbery. 10 years later, in 1973, a Rikyo University student went missing. She was just 21 years old. Her disappearance sparked an intense search across Tokyo. Weeks later, her body was found near the back of the Doryodo Temple. She had been strangled, her hands bound. The culprit? Her university professor, who was a married man, much older, with whom she had been having an affair. He later committed a murder-suicide with his family. The tranquil temple site, already crumbling from neglect, became synonymous with betrayal and murder. And it didn't end there. Shortly after the investigation, arsonists set fire to the temple. The structure was destroyed, reduced to rubble and blackened beams. It was never rebuilt. Since then, the Doryodo Ruins have become a source of urban legends and whispered warnings. The temple's location is now known as the Doryodo Ruins within Ōtsukayama Park. Visitors to the site say they feel an intense pressure, as though the air thickens the closer you get to the remains. Some report hearing screams from the woods, especially at night. Others have seen a ghostly figure of a woman in white pacing slowly along the overgrown path, head bowed, face pale, and sometimes completely blank. Now, Supernatural Japan friends, why is it that these ghosts are always women in white? It's amazing. Across so many cultures, so many places in Japan, we always see that woman in white. Now, hikers describe camera batteries dying without warning. Photos taken at the ruins sometimes show blurred figures or shadows that don't belong. One paranormal investigator claimed to hear a voice whispering in his ear, even though he was completely alone. Now, I don't know about you folks, but that would certainly give me the heebie-jeebies if someone was whispering in my ear when I knew I was alone. But is the ghost said to haunt Doryodo really that of one of the women who was murdered on the site? Or is something older lingering in those woods? The area around Mount Kompira has long been associated with spiritual energy. Some say the mountain was once used by Yamabushi, the ascetic mountain monks who practiced harsh rituals to purify the soul. And others claim there were ancient graves buried beneath the temple grounds long before the Edo period. In Japanese folklore, places tied to violent death, betrayal, or spiritual unrest often become yurei hotspots, haunted by spirits unable to pass on. The Doryodo Ruins check all of these boxes. Today the ruins remain accessible, but locals will warn you not to go alone, not at night, and definitely not if you disrespect the site. One rumor claims that those who mock the story of the two women murdered at the site or take souvenirs from the ruins are cursed with illness and misfortune. Some say their dreams are haunted, and some say worse. It's easy to forget when walking Tokyo's neon streets just how close the ancient past still is. But in places like Hachioji, in a patch of forest just outside the city, you can feel it. It's watching. It's waiting. So, if you find yourself drawn to the edge of Tokyo, to a trail that leads you deeper into the woods, listen carefully. If you hear someone crying when no one's around, you might be closer to the Doryodo Ruins than you think. Well, thanks for joining me on this episode of Supernatural Japan. If you've ever visited the Doryodo Ruins, or have your own ghost story from anywhere in Japan, I'd love to hear from you. You can find me on social media. All the links will be below in the show notes. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, leave a review and share it with a fellow ghost story lover. Every little bit helps keep bringing you these haunted tales from across Japan. Now, if you follow me on social media, which you should, you would know that I am in Japan right now. I'll be in the Kansai region of Japan for the month of July, and I will be visiting lots of spooky places, meeting some spooky people, and sharing incredible photos, videos, and more on Instagram, X, Blue Sky, and YouTube. So, things might also sound a little bit different because my regular recording equipment is far, far away. I'll be using a portable Rode podcasting mic for the next few months until we get resituated and into a brand new Supernatural Japan studios. So, you can follow me on social media to see lots of pictures of all the places I talk about in each and every episode of Supernatural Japan. One of the best ways to do that is to follow the podcast on Instagram at Supernatural Japan. That's right. Go over, give us a like, give us a follow. You can find me, Kevin O'Shea, your host, on Blue Sky and X at Mad for Maple. You can always email the podcast at supernaturaljapan@gmail.com. Follow me on YouTube at Busan Kevin. And we have a Facebook group. If that's your thing, it's a fun place to be. The link's below in the show notes. And if you like the show, you can also support us on Buy Me a Coffee. Everything you donate goes directly to making the podcast even better. The link is in the show notes at buymeacoffee.com/BusanKevin. And that's it for this episode. Until next time, travel safe and don't ignore the whispers in the woods.